Good day, welcome to a new market update in which we're going to be discussing the price action of Bitcoin, as the price has been bouncing nicely after the US Open. Initially, the US Open was going to be terrible given the fact that the futures were signaling a pretty bloody day. However, since the Open, the markets have been bouncing back up, and also Bitcoin has been bouncing back up towards 43k after a pretty harsh correction yesterday, given the fact that we were dropping down swiftly. And actually we are currently in a period of a choppy range, and that's what we're going to discuss in this update. But before we're going to continue, do not forget to subscribe beneath, like this YouTube update, and also do not forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, where you can find daily content on the markets. So in this short update, we're going to cover the price action of Bitcoin and Ethereum, as they are very heavily correlated to each other. But in the actual price action in itself, there is still a standard conclusion that has not been adjusted because of the actual price action of the past 48 hours. This means that if we are looking at higher time frames, the area of support that I'd prefer to see hold is the area between 38 to 40k. That's a very important level of support that I'd want to see that hold in order to avoid any massive corrections, because if 38 is lost, we're going to look at 30k next, or 33. However, everyone seems to be eyeing 30 to 33k as the next buy zone, which means that usually we will not be hitting that, or we nosedive below. 33 to 35k is that CME gap that is still not filled. On the upside, the crucial level of resistance that I want to see break is the level 46k. If that one breaks, we are going to get the next impulse wave, because I find that the crucial breaker. And if that one breaks, we're going to get acceleration of the actual triggers, and then the inflow of money will be even bigger. So in between 40 to 46k, it's a choppy range. It is day trading range. It is a period where all the levels get tested before we squeeze the price action and before we're going to get a new impulse wave. And that can take time, which means that if we get towards the support areas of that range, you should be looking at longs. If we get to the higher bounds of that range, you should be looking for TPs if you're trading. But it is not time to become bearish at support and bullish at resistance, which is usually the fact when we are acting in such a range resistance. So let's look at the price action right now, in which we can cover the lower time frames and see what the price action is actually doing at this point. So we have been covering a scenario of downwards momentum, right? In which we stated that if we truly want to become bullish, we have to break through those two resistances that we've got here for Bitcoin. In that case, we've had a downwards move after this rising wedge construction. We broke beneath the actual range, as we have disclosed earlier too. And from that perspective, we rejected at this range resistance and dropped south towards the next level of support. We didn't really get all the way down towards this region, but the scenario actually played out and the actual levels are still standing. So in this case, we've got a strong bounce after the US Open. We are currently acting inside the resistance of this point, and that is still the crucial area that I'm looking at. So if this one breaks, I'm assuming that we're going to take out this high, and then I'm looking at the range resistance that we've got at 45 high to 47k. Very simple. What level am I looking at for support at this stage? Then we are looking at a support level at 42.3. If this sustains, we are making ourselves a higher low, and we're seeing that we are having a fake out here, in which we can see continuation. As a matter of fact, fake outs happen all the time. In this case, we've had this range structure, fake out on the upside, nuked all the way down towards the next range, which we have been acting here. We can see that we reject, test the other side of the range, have a fake out, and move all the way towards the other side of the range at this point. So in order to actually have continuation taking place here, the area at 42.3 has to sustain as support, and if that happens, we most likely are going to break through this resistance point, and then we're going to target the highs, but then we're also looking at the range resistance at 46k as the next area that we're going to test here. Also, the actual scenario doesn't really change at this point. I think that the crucial breaker on the higher time frame for Bitcoin is this entire range still. If that is going to get a retest, most likely we're going to have a longer period of sideways accumulation before we're going to actually have a breakout taking place or a reversal of the entire trend, and then we're going to have the next big impulse move. But this entire block, that is the area around 46k, that is what I'm looking at for resistance, and that's what I'm assuming is going to need to break in order to have bullish momentum. Ethereum against USDT, pretty much similar strategy here, right? We have been covering the levels, and we have been stating that this entire block that we've got here, that is what we should be seeing as support hold, and actually we see it as support hold, which means that we can have continuation towards the next area of resistance before we're going to get ourselves a corrective move. So based on the fact that Ethereum is holding at $3,200, I'm assuming we're going to have continuation taking place, which is the next continuation towards $3,600. And in that perspective, we're going to have a retest there, and probably that's going to act as a short-term resistance point. If we want to test the lows again, we have to lose 3,200. If that happens, I'm definitely assuming we're going to test 29 again. But for now, this is a good bounce and ready for continuation to the upside. I hope you have enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow with a fresh new update. Don't forget to subscribe beneath, and I'll see you again soon.